my second Tishrei, and I just last night found out, because I clicked on an interview with a Ingeman Avraham Friedman, who is a shliach in Coral Springs. I think he's the principal of the Hebrew Academy, the Torah Academy, under Yossi Denberg. He was interviewed a number of years ago. I just stumbled across it last night, and then I learned something I didn't know because I was present. His friends is just before NEILAH, Tavshin Lamed Zayin, 1977, my second Tishrei. Now, what we all saw was that the Rebbe asked all the children under Bar Mitzvah stand next to him on his bima. He used to put up a bima only for Tishrei. Later, that bima, which you're all familiar with from the videos, was there year round. At Tishrei, they put it up, it started in 1975, I think that's on the day. It was posted, people were getting crushed. It was just necessary that the Rebbe elevated somewhat that people could see. So the Rebbe agreed. It was only for Tishrei, and later as the crowd swelled, it was year round. So let me tell you how the story began, as related by Rabbi by this Avraham Friedman. He says he was 12 years old. He says, because of the great crowd, even then, thousands. So we kids was a group of 5 or 6 of us. So we couldn't be with the actual body of the crowd itself pressing towards the bima. It was a tremendous crush. So we had a little place in the very front of the shul between the Aron HaKodesh. There's a little space, and then there's the Rashag, that his brother-in-law has a shtender and he davens. There's a small space, and then right of that, as you're facing in front of the shul, is the bima, the platform, and the Rebbe shtender, the red chair. But the crowd keeps on pressing forward, and we ended up like kvetching the Rashag, the Rebbe's older brother-in-law, Shmarya Gorari. The Rebbe noticed. The Rebbe noticed, I guess he was pressing on him. He couldn't help it. So the Rebbe went with his hand. Rabbi Groner, who on the bima would stand behind the Rebbe to the right against the wall, comes over to the Rebbe, and so you see that Jessie didn't understand what it was. There's an exchange of words, and it's the kids. I think he went down there, and there's really nothing could be done. It was just the next thing. The Rebbe goes to us. He says, "Come up, stand with me." So we did. So the 6 of us stood there, and then I don't know. I didn't see any of this. No one, because you had to be right there to see that. But what I saw is, all of a sudden, pandemonium broke out in 770 because the Rebbe had said that he wants all the children. And literally, they were passing kids. No kid could walk through the crowd. They were passing children across their heads, and they was waiting to, and the bima was full. Not enough, and then they had to make even space in the side of the bima. And then they started living in the volcano. It went on for a long time. And he says, you could hear this, but he was a child right there. He was 12-year-old kid. He said he'd heard the Rebbe cry by Fabrengen, by Aftoyre, by Tkiyas, but nothing. The Rebbe was racked with sobs. With his left hand indicating, I've been volcano again, again, and again. I remember it was an awesome moment. First of all, was the wailing of the kids, because of even little kids. Everybody wanted, even small children that were there. Father all of a sudden picks up his kid, go. So the kids were wailing. Eventually, they quietened. And they were in the volcano. So he says, Avraham Friedman says we were 12 kids, but we, like everybody, saw that Rebbe was struggling with heaven, that it should be good. Call yourself for every year in his new personal life. That was the NEILAH, the extraordinary NEILAH that was surrounded by the children. It was clear to everybody that he wanted the children, the children whose breath is pure, that is sinless, to kind of join him in his struggle, in his battle with heaven, with the accusations and the kindness, and to bring about the victory. I made a tape then. It was a buffer. This is my second tissue. First one, I come here early and I go back to Melbourne, and I came back now and stayed. So I made a tape. Maybe one day I will play for you. My kids made a CD out of it, of Tishrei, describing this as well, but not knowing this part of the story. And I'm telling my younger brother, Ruby, had you been there, you would have been. Children, it was you. And the embassy says that even the children were physically not there, they were there. These children, 770, represented all Jewish children everywhere. May Hashem bless us all with the Gemach, Simmet Tova on every level. The Gashmius and the Ruchnius, as that would say, is Oidus Tshuva Amitis, a true arousal of Tshuva, which opens us up to the Gilui of Yechidah, the Etzem and the Neshama that the Eibishter is stirring for us. Regardless, we be blessed with all that we need. The Gashmius and the Ruchnius, Naches, Gesund and Parnassah, in abundance, and the ultimate bracha before Yom Kippur to be united with the Rebbe, who you go in.
Amen.